Very much, moderator, Honorable Siranda. I stand on protocol for the interest of time. My name remains Atima Jackson. I represent the people of Arua Central Division in Arua City, which is in West Nile. It's very unfortunate the Right Honorable Speaker of EALA has stepped out, but what I am presenting, Honorable Moderator, it will be prudent for you to have a copy and hand over to the Right Honorable Speaker, because the voices I'm raising here are collective voices from the traders of Uganda who petitioned EALA through me, because I am a member of trustees of Chamber of Commerce, Uganda National Chamber of Commerce. I'm not only talking as a member of parliament, but also as Chamber of Commerce. I therefore would like to have this copy handed over to you so that you can give this.
Can I hand it to Commissioner Fatuma, who will then pass it to the Right.
Thank you very much, Honorable Siranda. This is petition to East African Legislative Assembly sitting in Kampala, October-November 2024, from Uganda traders to South Sudan and DRC Congo. We, the citizens of Uganda working and doing business within the EAC, do hereby petition the East African Legislative Assembly sitting in Uganda on these issues below. I will put them in a summary way. 1, the road network of neighboring countries like DRC and South Sudan from Uganda, especially Arua to Aba, Arua to Dungu, Arua Isiro, Arua Bonia and Kisangani in DR Congo, and Oraba Yei and Oraba Yambio in South Sudan to Western Equatorial State, where routine maintenance is completely not there. This should be a serious concern by our governments, because if we have poor state of roads, trade becomes a big problem. Number 2, local relations around the cross-border town is not good. Soldiers are harsh, especially the South Sudanese and Congolese, with roadblocks everywhere and extortion of money from business people in the names of taxes, which are not clear, no clear tax policy. The officers behave as if they are not on salary. In other words, they seem not to be on any payroll and survive on extortion. It's a very serious concern. Traders are paying monies from one roadblock to another. They end up losing a lot of money. Number 3, lawlessness on the side of DRC and South Sudan, where mistreatment of business people at immigration points and revenue checkpoints of those countries. The staff there are too harsh, hostile, and too rude, most of the times putting people at gunpoint. They have threatened the people, put people on gunpoint, and even shot some people. And in the process, businesses end up getting collapsed. Number 4, security collaboration among its member states agencies. At times, many things are stolen from Uganda, and their recovery becomes a very big problem. A case in point, Arua Regional Referral Hospital lost a brand new ambulance, and it was taken to DRC. And the authorities in DRC knew where this ambulance was. When Ugandan security tried to follow this ambulance, they could not be supported by the authorities. How do we call ourselves EAC, yet we cannot support each other? Number 5, variation in tax regimes. This one, somebody talked about it. Tax regimes need to be harmonized. That's why we have smuggling all over. That's why my brother, Honorable Macho, is talking about smuggling in Busia, smuggling in West Nile. People are suffering. Let's have this harmonized. Telephone network disparities, where Vodacom, Airtel of DRC do affect or interfere with the network of MTN and Airtel of Uganda at all border points. It affects business transactions of governments like URA and immigration. Moderator, these are very important points because as EAC, we are collecting taxes. So if our network affects, when traders will want to pay by use of, electronic devices, it affects, so you cannot execute businesses on time. 7, immigration employment should have a common or local staff to underpin the language barriers at customs. Many times you realize that people who travel may not know the other language on the other side. So transaction becomes a problem. So we will need a policy where local people can be there to help traders. Number 8, Uganda happened to have closed Oraba, Congo, Central African route for transit of goods 10 years ago. There's a route which goes through Oraba. So Uganda government closed this 10 years ago. And subsequently, Oraba-Kaya route was closed 3 years ago in the names of fighting smuggling. But instead, this move has killed business along this line from Arua, Maracha, Koboko, and along this route. Growth of economy can happen when there's no hindrance of such. When you close a route of, that nature, it affects all the growth that will take place along that route will be hindered. So we will ask the intervention of EAC to address this. Lastly, the EAC visa they talked about. Other countries are flourishing very well. The challenge we have is with South Sudan. We allow the South Sudanese brothers and sisters to enter here free. But when Ugandans are going there, they have to pay. Why is that happening? So these are things that we will want you to harmonize. Thank you very much. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much. Can we clap? Can we give a hand clap to our MP?
And I like the honesty with which you have actually spoken here. So the good news is that we have the policymakers here. We have the Honorable Minister who is here. We have what we call, if you look at the power structure of EAC, you will know that at the heart, the key driver of EAC integration, by the way, in its current formation, is actually the Council. The Council has the role of policy. The Council has the role of implementation, ensuring that all legislation takes effect. So the rubber meets the ground at the point when Council functions effectively. So that's why you will find that in our legislative work, we are always asking where is Council, where is the position of Council. Council in this case is not just ministers of EAC affairs. Council is, we have sectoral councils. So we have a sectoral council on defense, a sectoral council on security, a sectoral council on trade, a sectoral council on agriculture. So all matters relating to all these sectors are escalated through those sectoral councils, and they become policy. It's at that point that it actually takes effect. So private sector players, please ensure that you constantly engage with your sectoral councils. Engage with the sectoral council on trade, on matters of trade. The Honorable Buti is here, and his colleagues in the ministry, they should constantly engage with you, the private sector players. Those who are engaged in agriculture, try to get the ministers of agriculture. Then from here, you are going to have them, amplify your voices. If there is a there is a matter of legislation, it will gain traction at the EALA very fast. We usually, council business takes precedence in our legislative work.
We have been doing oversight in borders, Namanga, Busia, I don't know. But what we are hearing here is that we still have a long way to go after 25 years. It is as if Secretariat, the EAC Secretariat, EALA, it is as if we had done not nothing, but we still have a long way to go. After 25 years, our people are still spending 3 days, 2 days or more, spending nights in their trucks without any sanitation. This is very sad. For me, as a speaker of EALA and through my members, it is as if you had told us, please, save us before we die. And we will do it. We will be proud of our EALA when we'll have a meeting with the stakeholders, and when they will tell us, you EALA, thank you. We had been spending 2 or 3 days at the border, now it's 1 day. We will be proud of ourselves when East Africans will tell us we have been paying our ticket from Bujumbura to Arusha, $2,000. Now we are paying a cheaper ticket, and ticket to Dar es Salaam are cheap, to Nairobi are cheap, to everywhere cheap, because you would have harmonized taxes and tariffs. Uganda Airlines, you could be congratulated. In this region, you are the cheapest in the region. I don't know how you handle it, but when we compare Uganda Airlines tickets and the Rwanda Airlines and Kenya Airways and Air Tanzania, we found that Uganda is a little bit cheaper than others. So please, how can our East African body, which is in charge of harmonizing tariffs, how can he be there and enjoy salaries when the traders themselves are crying and requesting to harmonize? I cannot speak more and more and more. I will have to sit with my members. I know how they are committed to deliver. I know them. We'll sit together and we'll adapt our activities, our calendars, our strategies. I'm sure that we will do something that will make us proud of our EALA 5.
For those of you come from the private sector, thank you for coming to engage with members of parliament, both from Uganda and EALA. On behalf of the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, I want to bring the apologies that she could not be with you this evening, but she's with you in spirit. And the members of the private sector, no matter when the Speaker is speaking, she's heard in silence, and I'm happy that there is silence in the room. First, if there are any members from the East African Legislative Assembly here who were doubting the seriousness of this meeting, I think the honorable member from the border, Atima, Honorable Atima, has reminded you how serious we take this meeting. I also come from the border of Gatuna, and one of the points that he raised, he petitioned. I don't know whether that's the right procedure to petition, but for him, he wrote his petition and said, I'm bringing it here. So, so now, one of the challenges we are having, which she raised, was the issue of telecom. So in one of my sub-counties, Butanda and part of Katuna Town Council, when I'm calling, I have to change to call a Rwandan code to be able to reach Ugandan resident in Uganda. So I join you in your petition to the East African Legislative Assembly. I hope that you can have some space for us on Monday. When you are seated, we bring a formal petition. Yeah. And I think Odong or somebody else can help us to present our petition, if that can help.